how to protect independent journalism from governmental reprisal, not only around the world and in Europe, where in countries like Hungary and Belarus regime critics are detained, but also in historic democracies like Britain, where new legislation is aimed at restricting freedom of speech. In the heart of the parliament, the debate is intense.
Along with media freedoms, diversity of the media. So, for example, a classic strategy by Hungary, and there's another case very recently, the club radio in Hungary, there's another one very recently, to exclude them just by regulatory saying, no, you can't continue your license. Well, that's not exactly what's happening here, but I mean, at least we do have a very vigorous and all-round debate about it. But at the end of the day, if the government is going to use its power, the Foreign Secretary, Home Secretary is going to use power to change those rules, the public has to speak out.
Well, it is the responsibility of governments to create a condition in which independent journalism thrives. That is the law, the convention of member states of the Council of Europe, for example. It's what the European Union says. But of course, they've got no control on the member states. So they are moving increasingly towards media capture. And you need to have the independent journalist associations themselves standing up rather than being divided against each other. And they need support from the outside. There are international organizations which can give support. And now there are quite a lot of funds available for independent media, which can help to stave off that kind of media capture. The European Union has its European Centre of Press and Media Freedom, which is moving into the fundraising. The UK helped to set up a media freedom coalition, which then is working with UNESCO to distribute funds, especially for independent media. The Council of Europe, to its credit, has passed guidelines for member states working up the basis in terms of human rights and democracy protection for support for independent journalism, and in particular for keeping the state's hands off the media, public media, and preventing media capture through oligarchy ownership and that kind of thing. But it is a very complex thing because states in the end want to control information, and those who oppose that have to stand together and speak up and pay for it.
In this regard, what's the impact of Brexit, since you are talking about EU law?
Impact of Brexit has been to create a lot of hot air and populism in many countries, not only in the UK but also on the other side of the channel.
With regards to independent journalism, what do you think? In UK,
there is evidence, research that shows that the media in this country and probably also on the continent was lost some of its perspective and lost its fairness in coverage over an issue that was so emotional.